Welcome into the JWTDG podcast. I'm Negative Nease, that's Harb. Harb, that's kind of getting hard to get used to saying JWTDG instead of section YY8, but we're making progress here.
We're the artist formerly known as Prince at this point.
Yeah,
We've turned ourselves into a symbol.
that's right. For the better.
Yeah, yeah, and people are going to call us both for the foreseeable future. But I don't know. As long as you're talking about us, as long as you're not calling us a select few names, I'm good with it.
That's true. A lot of positive feedback from the episode that we recorded down at historic G10 parking garage a couple Sundays ago. So thanks to everybody that viewed it, who listened to it, and we're hopefully got some exciting stuff planned for this fall. Maybe some game day content. I don't know if it'll be live or not. We'll have to see, but we're working on that. Maybe some merch coming down the line at some point. Buddy of mine, Patrick, his wife they were traveling to the beach this weekend, and she was like, "Are y'all gonna make shirts with JWTDG on it?" And I was like, "Well, we kind of talked about it, but haven't really made any moves yet." She was like, while they were traveling, she was like putting it on t-shirts. Actually, some of the stuff looked pretty good, so we'll work on that. Maybe see where that goes this fall. But right now, we're focused on getting the pod off the ground and getting it rolling again. So, Harb, we had a big week last week in Vol Nation, you might say. The Adidas reveal. I think if you're listening, you can't see it, but I think I do have a polo on, but I think it's from either 1999 or 2000. It's not dry fit, it's cotton, but it's Adidas. Coach Fulmer sideline polo. It's not his, it's mine. He didn't wear it.
Mm.
He wore
What's
one that looked
what's
like
yours
it.
now, regardless?
Yeah, it's mine, regardless if he wore it or not. But the Vols officially switched to Adidas the day after we recorded down at G10 a couple weeks ago, and they waited another week to reveal it. It was kind of what you and I hoped for and what Vol Nation expected. No surprises. They kept everything the same. Um, Things of note: the numbers on the number font on the football jerseys went back to the big block numbers like we're used to. A little bit of tweak to those, but man, they look good. Uniforms look good across the board in all the sports. I did not, and I text our podcast group this. I did when I first saw the baseball home whites. I was like, I don't know about these. Not sure that I like them, but um, I was sitting in traffic when I first looked at them, and then when I got somewhere at lunch, sat down and looked at them. I was like, all right, these look pretty good, better than the previous ones to me. So I think there's still some to be put out like alternates. We did not see a black basketball uniform or baseball. The only black uniform we got was football. I'm sure they'll do black in baseball and basketball. They've done it for the last several years, so be interesting to see what those look like. But what was your thoughts on it? Anything stood out to you, or is it just another uniform reveal?
I wouldn't say anything necessarily stood out. I think we and Adidas did a very good job with the majority of what I saw, especially football. That's the one everybody wants to talk about. The home unis look great. They don't look very different, really. It's just a number font change, which is what we talked about on the last show. And they didn't try to reinvent the wheel. And I appreciated that. I think that was tasteful, in my opinion. There was a lot of speculation about the white tops, and they didn't really do anything that kind of alluded to the past or anything. Kind of made it modern, but also a callback to previous eras. I think they look good. They look great. Black uniforms are damn near identical. It was really just the number
Yeah.
font change, and I think that was the only thing that I didn't like about the Nike uniforms.
Yes.
And there's some collar changes and very subtle stuff. Yeah, they look good. Look, as far as football uniforms, they didn't. They did literally nothing to the basketball uniforms, which I
Good.
prefer. Our basketball uniforms are elite, in my opinion.
They're perfect.
The only difference is the brand logos in the middle,
Yes.
and there was mixed reviews of that online. Honestly, I think it looks incredible.
I thought it looked good.
I love the Adidas logo right in the middle. Some people don't like it, but if we're splitting hairs over where the brand logo is, I think we're going to be just fine.
If that's the worst thing people are complaining
Yeah,
about, then they did something right.
yeah. You love the baseball jerseys. The baseball jerseys are kind of to me. I'll have to see them in action before I can give an opinion on those. I think they're. I just feel like the baseball jerseys are missing a little something.
And to be fair, they only put out the orange ones, which thank God they did nothing with. Those are the best
Yeah,
ones they got.
sure.
But
I'm talking about the white
the
ones.
white ones, they just said Tennessee across the chest. That was, and they had a orange little pinstripe down the side. I mean, in
Sure.
the past they've worn. They had, I think we counted it at work the other day. I think they had six uniform sets last year. They had a gray, a solid a white pinstripe, the orange tops, the black, and then the white with the power T on it. Or maybe that was the only one they had. Maybe they didn't have one that said Tennessee across it. I don't think they did last year except for the pinstripes. But they had five or six different uniform sets. They literally only revealed two last week.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there's more to come on that end. The one thing I liked, Brian Rice, Lady Vols announcer, basketball, softball, and then he's on state run radio. He did confirm that Tennessee baseball will be using new air hats, much like Mississippi State, Texas A&M, several other Adidas schools use new air hats, not the Adidas. Now, in the pictures and videos, they had Adidas hats on, and he said they would have them for fall ball, but not in the spring. They would be moving to new air, which I liked. Listener, friend of the show, baseball fanatic Thomas Raines was not a fan of that. He said, I'll just wear my Nike hat. And I called him a terrorist.
Fair. I will say the orange softball jerseys are
Yes.
so elite. Uh,
Yes, Lord.
I mean, they are incredible. The Summit Blue is
Yeah. I was going to
it,
ask you
it-
about the Summit Blue. That was my
perfect.
next question. What do
It's
you think about
absolutely
all those?
it's absolutely perfect, in my opinion. Especially the softball jerseys. I don't really remember off the top of my head, to be 100% honest with you, what the ladies' basketball jerseys look like. But the softball jerseys, in my opinion, they automatically are top three in the country.
Yeah,
Like
they were good. I like
those jerseys are perfect.
I like those Summit Blues for the ladies. There were some people on social media begging for a blue football Summit Blue football jersey, but we don't. They can wear the accessories, the wristbands, the socks. That's a fitting tribute to Coach Summit. We don't need to be wearing blue jerseys. We're
Sure,
that's
but
a
way
men's
back, sure, but back in the day, the men's were they had
basketball did. They
basketball
did.
did have baby blue on their
They had
jerseys.
a little hint
A
of
lot of
baby
people
blue.
love to forget that. I,
And
w-
I
I wouldn't hate an alternate jersey with for a callback. I wouldn't hate that.
I would be okay with that for basketball. But I was mainly talking about everybody was wanting a blue, Summit Blue jersey for football.
No, I think I'm out on that.
Oh, I'm definitely out.
But baby blue is just such a good color on any uniform, in
And
my
a
opinion.
and a great George Strait song.
Yeah, he didn't
Baby.
write. He didn't write
Well,
it. But yeah,
he performed it. I don't know who wrote it. We'll have to find that out.
Grub probably did.
Grubb wrote it.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, I think our creative team, which we a detail that kind of got lost in this whole thing that people kind of forgot about in the switch is our creative team uh, held on to creative control for all of our jerseys. So that should have told you that there wasn't going to be a ton of change in general from Nike to Adidas. Obviously, there's going to be some small changes that you have to have, and that was pretty much what we got. And I'm totally okay with that because if you paid attention to outside of Tennessee athletics, Penn State just switched from Nike to Adidas as well. And Penn State is even more traditional than we are when it comes to jerseys. And there's the only thing it changed is literally just the logo on there. Is like there was jokes going online. Like it's just like, why'd you even post anything? Like all you did was change the logo. And there's certain programs where that's fitting for. And in my opinion, we're one of them. And I'm totally fine with a black jersey, a gray jersey. Those are fun. But when it comes to the orange and white, you really don't have to do a whole lot.
It's the
Like, like,
only
like
it's the
just get back to the block letters and change the logo and call it a day.
one thing I
We
like that they
did. I
did.
like it.
One thing I like that they did on the road uniforms is take that orange collar off. I initially, when Nike put those out, I kind of liked it. I was like, oh, it adds a little touch of orange to it. But over time, I grew to not like that. And you were talking about, they didn't really do anything um, to change it. But one thing I did like, and it was kind of a nod back to the mid to late 90s, early 2000s, mid 2000s was on the home and away jersey. Recently with Nike, the T has been on the chest a little bigger, right above the number, but they went back to like it's right on the collar and it's circled in orange on the white one and it's orange on the orange one, obviously. I thought that was a nice little nod to that era of Tennessee football. Some people wanted the black outline. I kind of wanted it, but after seeing those last week, I love them. I think they did a great job. I actually went to Alumni Hall today and saw them in person. The ones you can buy, not the ones they're going to wear on the field, and they look good. I mean, they look real. All of them, black, white, and orange. They all look good. So I know some people were a little down about the fan gear that was put out, and I went and looked at it today, and it was just ho hum. There wasn't much to it. It's basically an orange polo with an Adidas logo and a T on it, or white, or black, or gray. They had some golf stuff that was a little different, but I mean, honestly, a lot of people buy other brands now. You don't have to just be with Adidas or Nike or whoever your school's with. There's so many other brands out there now. So a lot to choose from. But I think the rollout was perfect last week. I thought the creative team did a great job. Reaction's been overwhelmingly positive across the board, which is hard to get in today's time with
Mhm.
anything. There's always negative nieces out there, right, Harb?
Yeah, absolutely.
I was positive niece on this one for once. So all this Adidas switch got me to thinking. It was pouring rain last Saturday morning, couldn't really do anything. And I started thinking, like, what are the top, like, if I had to rank them, the top wins of the first Adidas era? 1997 was when we initially went to Adidas, all the way to 2014. Um, Obviously, number one would have to be the national title game, but I thought, what are the other 10 outside of the national title game? So we'll share those with you now. Harb is going to have a rebuttal and honorable mentions afterwards. This was a hard list. I initially had like probably 15 to 20 games on here. Um, a lot. Obviously, most of these are going to be late 90s to mid to late 2000s. There's none on here past 2007, I believe. But pickings got slim after 2007. There was a couple I thought. '09 Georgia, we routed them at home. I thought about 2013 South Carolina, 2014 South Carolina, but I just couldn't pull the trigger over these. Um, so let me pull these up here on my end and we'll go through them real quick, Harb. How about it? Number 10, I put 2004 versus Florida. The Vols won 30-28. For those that don't remember that game, James Wilhoit, Tennessee ties it. Eric Ainge and Brent Schaefer, freshman quarterbacks, started the game, went back and forth. Both had pretty good games. Tennessee trailed 28-21, scored a touchdown to get it to 28-27. James Wilhoit missed the extra point. Vols got the ball back after a Dallas Baker personal foul, put him in good field position. James Wilhoit. Back then, this was a long field goal. He kicked a 50-yarder. That was a big deal in 2004. I was at that game. Uh, Terrific atmosphere that night. Vols win 30-28. Number 9, I had the 2004 Cotton Bowl versus Texas A&M. This was at the old Cotton Bowl, the original Cotton Bowl Stadium. For those that remember this game, if you watched it, the crowd was about 90% Texas A&M fans. It was a true road game for Tennessee, and Tennessee just absolutely routed Texas A&M in their pretty much home stadium that day. 38-7. Vols jumped out on them 21-0. Just I think first three possessions they scored a touchdown. I remember watching that game that day. That was supposed to propel us into 2005 with everybody coming back, two quarterbacks coming back. That didn't work out so well. Number 8, 2007 at Kentucky, 52-50 and 4 overtimes. I was at this game as well. We should have lost this game about 4 different times. We let Kentucky right back into it. First play of the game, Eric Ainge throws a swing pass to Arian Foster. He takes it to the house. Vols jump out to a big lead in the first half, allow a really good Kentucky team to get back in it. We really should have lost this game 2 or 3 different times, late and in overtime, but kept finding a way to win. Won that game, got to go to Atlanta the next week and lose to LSU in the SEC title game. Number 7, 2003 at Miami in the old Orange Bowl Stadium. Vols win 10-6 in a rock fight. It was Miami's first loss at home in like 40 or 50 something games. It was like some long, crazy streak. This was at the tail end of their little dynasty run there in Coral Gables. I think Brock Berlin was the quarterback for the Hurricanes.
Well,
Casey Clausen.
Kellen Winslow had an all-time uh,
Yes.
interview after the game.
That was when he was so pissed off after the game and said he was an effing soldier.
Yep.
Just look it up on the YouTube if you've never seen that before. The game's not much to watch, but the fun thing was that what sealed the game was a Dustin Colquitt punt. I think it was Dustin. Yes, Dustin Colquitt punt, and he kicked it over toward the sidelines, and I'm pretty sure it was Sean Taylor who he muffed the kick, and Tennessee recovered it, ended the game, 10-6. And Dustin Colquitt was hurt when he kicked it. He had gotten like a pretty severe cramp on the previous punt or something. I just remember him limping throughout that game or throughout late in that game. But huge win for the Vols, kept them in the SEC title race that year. If they'd have lost that game, they ended up tying for the SEC East title, but they were behind in the BCS and didn't get to go to Atlanta. Staying in that same year at number 6, 2003 at Alabama, a 51-43 win in 5 overtimes. This was the infamous 4th and 19 play in overtime. I believe it was the first overtime for Tennessee, or maybe the fourth quarter. I can't remember. No, it was overtime, maybe second overtime. Casey Clausen hit C.J. Phaeton on 4th and 19 for like a 26-yard game. Vols go on to win 51-43 in Bryant-Denny Stadium. That would be our last win in that stadium since. We've not won since, Harb.
Sad.
Sad. Sad and unfair. Maybe one day. Let's see. Number 5, 1997 SEC title game versus Auburn. Tennessee wins 30-29. If I remember this correctly, Tennessee had like 4 or 5 just ungodly turnovers and kept Damian Craig and all them guys in it. But Peyton Manning hit Marcus Nash on a little out route in the fourth quarter to seal the win and bring home Tennessee's first SEC title since 1990. Their first SEC title game they played in. Next game, number 4, Mississippi State in the 1998 SEC title game. Tennessee did not play well in this game. I think trailed 14-10 late in the fourth quarter. T. Martin hit Peerless Price for a touchdown to put them up 17-14. We got a turnover next possession, and then Martin hit Cedric Wilson for the dagger touchdown to end it. 24-14. Vols would go on to play in the Fiesta Bowl and win the national title. Harb caught me on this one because I'd had this on here and for some reason I deleted it, but he caught it and I made a correction. 1998 versus Arkansas. Vols win 28-24 in Neyland Stadium. That was the infamous Clint Sterner stumbles and fumbles game. Vols should have lost this game, but we didn't. Destiny had other plans. Billy Ratliff recovered, and we proceeded to run the football down the field with like 2 minutes left in the game. They just gave it to Travis Henry, and he would pick up huge gashes of yards every run. It was like our offensive line hadn't played all game, and they were totally fresh, and Arkansas was wore out. They were just pushing them all over the field. I was at this game. I'll never forget it. It was raining. It was dark that day, and I thought the game was over. I had my head down. I didn't see the fumble. I just heard people yell and looked up, and we're running off the sidelines. But that win kept us alive, number 1 in the BCS, and obviously we went on to win the national title. Number 2, 2001 at Florida. Everybody should know this game. It was delayed because of September 11th. I think if we would have played this on when it was supposed to be played, we would not have had Dante Stallworth. We would not have had like 2 or 3 other key players. So it was kind of a blessing in disguise. Not that we wanted 9/11 to happen, but it ended up helping out the Vols. But they went down there, set the tone early. It was a back and forth game, but 34-32 win at the Swamp, and it propelled us to the SEC title game, which we then went and choked away to LSU the next week. We would have went on if we won the SEC title the next week and played Miami for the national title. What could have been. That was probably the day that set Tennessee football back from there on out. Who knows what would have happened if they had beat LSU in the SEC title game and went to play Miami for the national title. We'll never know, but not one of the best days in Tennessee football history. In number 1, Harb, I've got 98 versus Florida, 20-17 win in overtime. Philip Fulmer got the monkey off his back. It was an ugly game. Florida had a lot of turnovers. Jesse Palmer and Doug Johnson switched back and forth at quarterback. Every play, they would rotate out. So every other play, Doug Johnson was in. Every other play, Jesse Palmer was in. It was one of the weirdest things Steve Spurrier did. But Deion Grant had a remarkable interception. Al Wilson forced like 2 fumbles that led to turnovers. T. Martin had a long pass to Peerless Price in the end zone for a touchdown. Sean Bryson broke a huge run on a fullback dive early in the game. But I just remember watching that game at my house that night, my parents' house, and when we kicked the field goal to go up, Florida got the ball, missed the field goal. I literally jumped and hit my knuckles on the ceiling in our basement that night. So that's my list, Harb. Again, I did not put the national championship game in there, obviously, because that would have been number 1. This is games outside of that. So did I miss any, Harb, or honorable mentions? What's your thoughts?
Honorable mentions. One that, in the grand scheme of things, wasn't really important, but in the moment it was so fun, was 2013 South Carolina. I believe I think we went 5-7 that year. But South Carolina was number like 11 in the country. And they came in here, and that was the Marquez North one hang catch game.
Yes.
Marlon Walls had a huge game. I remember that vividly. Michael Plardy finished it off with a chip shot at the end. Beat them by 1 or 2 at the buzzer. It was a bright spot and a low point. And that's just a vivid game that I remember from the dark days post Fulmer, and we were wearing Adidas. So that game was a lot of fun. And another one that I do think you missed, which in my opinion is one of the most prolific nights of the Adidas era, was also against South Carolina, but in 2009 Halloween
It's
when we came out
true.
in the black. Uh, Looking back on it, they were so ugly. They were
Yeah.
disgustingly ugly, and there were rumblings that we were going to come out in them. We came out in all orange for warm ups, didn't we?
All, orange pants, orange tops. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. We came out in all orange for warm ups, and then go in the locker room. Team changes. They come in the tunnel, and they're wearing the black jersey for the first time ever, and that place was absolutely rocking. We go on to beat the tar out of South Carolina, which was pretty good that year, if I remember correctly.
Mhm.
Monterio Hardesty hit the B button,
Yeah.
one of the best spin moves of all time. Jumped on him early. I think we got up 21 nothing. Ended up winning like 31 to 10 or something like that. But in my opinion, that is one of the most iconic games of the Adidas era because it was a change that we'd never seen before. It was a promising future that obviously didn't happen. But in the moment, we were untouchable. And in my opinion, that's one of the most fun 7-5 teams of all time. That team was so fun.
That was crazy that year too. I remember I think it was the Ohio game. Jonathan Crompton had struggled off and on most of that year. In the Ohio game, he just caught fire. And from there on out, he was great the rest of the year. They ended up losing to Virginia Tech in the Peach Bowl that year, but Crompton came out. They beat South Carolina. They had pounded Georgia earlier that month. And Georgia was a good team, ranked. Just dog walked him, no pun intended, in Neyland Stadium. A couple that I had on my list that I just couldn't put them on there. One was the 2005 Cal game at Neyland Stadium. I remember that game. I think it was a 3:30 game, but it was so hot that day. His first game of the year, coming off that '05 disappointing 5-6 season after being ranked third in the country, and they just pushed around California all day long that day. California came in highly rated. Never forget the opening kickoff. One of our players just cold cocked, not punched him, but hit one of their special teams players and pretty much knocked him out. He was
That,
wobbling off the field, and
that was Aaron Rodgers and Deshaun Jackson, was it not?
I I don't think Aaron Rodgers was the quarterback of that team.
He almost had to have been. He got drafted in '07, I
I,
think.
so we played them in '06 and '07. I think he was in the '07 game, was he not? I know Marshawn
I don't
Lynch
know.
was.
I don't know how many years he's. Oh yeah, totally forgot about Marshawn Lynch. I know for a fact Deshaun Jackson played.
Let's
So
see. I'll look up their roster
almost
real.
positive Aaron Rodgers.
Said running back. Oh, it was not. It was running back Marshawn Lynch, wide receiver Deshaun Jackson, quarterback Nate Longshore.
Okay.
He was a sophomore, led the team with 3,021 passing yards. Backups included Joe Iob and Steve Levy.
Maybe he got drafted in '06.
He must have
Anyway,
because,
anyway.
anyways, I don't remember who the quarterback was because we went out to Cal the next year and got beat up a little bit. And then the other one was the '06, same season, the '06 Georgia game. We fell behind that game, I think 24-7 in the first half, came out in the second half, scored a touchdown. Very next possession, got a pick deep in Georgia territory, scored again, just routed them 51-33. That was the game that was famous for Antonio Wardlow being on the cover of Sports Illustrated, recovering a block punt in the end zone. Um, a great night, and as a night game in Athens, those people were so fired up. jumping out 24-7 in the first half. They thought it was over. And the Vols, Eric Ainge, Brett Smith, Eric Ainge, Jason Swain, CJ Fate, and all those guys just had a night there in between the hedges. So that was one I really wanted to put on there. Another one more, was the 98 Georgia game. That was a big one. Quincy Carter was quarterback for Georgia. I can't remember who their running back was. They came into the game. We'd beat them like 7, 8 in a row. A lot of hype, highly rated teams on both sides. And Tennessee, final score was 22-3. It was never that close. If you go back and watch that game, Tennessee physically dominated Georgia on both sides in all three phases of that game. They were never in that game. So it was a typical Tennessee 1998 game. Low scoring, run the football well, and played elite defense. But I remember that game because Georgia fans were so hyped, thinking they had us. They finally got us. Didn't get us. They'd have to wait 2 more years. So that was it. Tell us what you all think about the list. Agree or disagree? Like, comment, share, give us a thumbs down, whatever you got to do. But hopefully, we'll create some new greatest wins in this new Adidas era. I'd like to beat Alabama again. That would be nice.
That'd be cool.
Um, but we got. I was looking at the schedule earlier tonight, Harb. I think some lines, at least Phil Steele had put some lines out. I was listening to him on Basilio today, and I have the graphic ready quite yet, but it looks like Tennessee's favored in 9 of their 12 games. I think the only games they're not favored in is, it was kind of weird, according to Phil Steele, was at South Carolina. Bama was a toss up. So it was 8 games they were favored in. 3 they were not. 1 was a toss up. They were favored in all the other games except
Texas.
South Carolina, LSU, and Texas. Or maybe it was A&M. I think it was A&M. South Carolina, A&M, and Texas. We were favored in most of the other games, and a couple that surprised me when I heard them was, I think Arkansas, Tennessee was like 8 or 9 point favorites at Arkansas, and then like 14-point favorites against Kentucky. But heavy favorites against Furman, Kennesaw State, slight favorites against Georgia Tech. I think Auburn, they had us at like 4 or 5 point favorites. Vandy was a handful of points. Alabama was basically a coin flip in Neyland. So I don't know. How many days are we away, Harb? I've kind of lost count.
I believe we're 53 or 54.
Because we were at 69 when we recorded our last episode.
Correct, we were.
So it's been a little over 2 weeks. So that'd be about right. But Harb, you got anything else before we head out? Baseball survived the baseball team survived the Major League Baseball draft. They lost the Condon kid and Trent Grinlinger's brother, which were expected. Tegan Coons got drafted 32nd round or 32nd pick to the Cardinals. I think Bo Rudy, Arvinson went to the Cubs. Bo Rudy went to, was it the Red Sox?
I don't know.
They had 4 or 5 drafted. So
I know the Red Sox first round pick was that kid from North Carolina. I'm
yeah,
excited about that one. And speaking of the Red Sox,
hot.
Undertaker, Undertaker name. We are
Yes.
so back.
They were
So
they were left for dead a month ago.
yeah, Juneteenth is when we started our run.
That's what, when you go like 12-2 your last 14 games, that'll get you back into it.
Dude, it is the wildest thing. I don't know if I've ever seen this. From June 19th to the All-Star break, they had a 1.94 starting ERA.
Holy cow. That's insane in this day and time.
1.94 for a hair under a month. And Crochet's out for the year. They're doing it without Crochet. And it's so funny because they're down Garrett Crochet, they're down Roman Anthony, they're down Connolly Early. They're down like 7 guys that were just all starters slash contributors, and they're making this crazy run. And it all kind of started with the 4 game sweep of the Yankees. And that is my favorite thing about that rivalry. It doesn't matter how good one team is or how bad the other one is. If the underdog gets some momentum, it flips the season. And that's what I love the most about that rivalry. And that's where we're at. And the starting pitching's always been good for this team. The lineups just sucked. But you start to string a couple hits together and you get a little bit of confidence. All of a sudden you have the best record in the majors over the last 3 weeks. And all of a sudden they're a half game out of a playoff spot. Don't count us out.
They're right there in it, especially the wild card. I mean,
Yeah, they're a half game out of a wild card
yeah,
spot.
I mean,
The
I
funny
don't
thing
know.
is, I think over the last 20, it's either 22 or 23 games, they're either 17-5 or 18-5.
That's wild.
And they're still 2 games under 500, which is hilarious. But yeah, they're right there because the American League's not very good this year. Like the National League's way better than the American League.
Oh yeah. Well, I was looking. So the Yankees are 54 and 42, and they have like a 6.5 game lead in the wild card. The Cubs have the exact same record, 54, 42. They're 5 games out of first in the Central and only 2.5 up in the wild card.
Yeah,
This is like wild
yeah.
how much difference there is from league to league. And that happens. It used to be the American League was the big dog, um, but not so much anymore. But Cubs are having a good season. They bounced back from their 10-game slide there a few weeks ago, and they were nine. I think as of a couple of weeks ago, they were 9 games out of first in the Central. Now they're five at the break. And they've
The
got like
Cubs are the Cubs are schizophrenic.
oh yeah. Well, when you
They're the
win,
biggest hot and cold team of all
when,
time.
they won a game last week 23-3 and then turned around the very 2 nights later, but the next game and lost 18-2. Like, how does that happen? I don't understand. But they've been like that all year. Go win 10 in a row twice, go 20-3 in a 23 game stretch, then turn around and lose 10 in a row, then come back and win 11 out of 13. It's just like there's no like just win 2 out of 3, guys. Just win 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
But the player, I was trying to look it up, I can't find it. The Players Era announced their schedule. We play Maryland on the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. And this is basketball for those that don't know what I'm talking about. Tennessee will travel to Vegas again. Second year of the 3-year deal that we've got with that tournament. Let's see. Here it is. Harb. Well, oh, here it is. Tennessee versus Maryland. 3 o'clock on Tuesday, November 24th. In our bracket is San Diego State versus Iowa State, Louisville versus Texas Tech, St. John's versus Oregon. Bracket number 2 is TCU Miami, Michigan Creighton, Baylor Alabama, Gonzaga, and Kansas State. So I think if we win, we play San Diego State or Iowa State. I would assume we beat Maryland and Bishop Boswell, but I think if we win, we play at like 1:30 on Thanksgiving Day. It's right in the middle of football.
Mm.
And if we lose, we play at like 9 o'clock on Thanksgiving Day, right when the tryptophan from the turkey kicks in.
Either way, that sucks.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
they played on Thanksgiving for the past several years. I remember going over to my cousin's house and football's on, but we're like, up, switch it over to the Vols are on. I don't care about the Cowboys, no offense, or the Lions or
Oh,
whoever's playing.
the lines are always lunch.
Yeah, they're the noon game or twelve
Yeah.
thirty. So
Take it easy on the Cowboys now.
I won't pick on them yet. We'll
No.
save that for
Yeah,
later.
I was about to say it's July. Give me
Yeah.
grace, man.
All right, Harvey, got anything else? I'm done for the night.
I don't believe I do. I think I'm good.
Well, that's all we got for this week's show. Remember to like, subscribe, and comment here on the YouTube channel. If you're watching us down here at the bottom, hit that thumbs up button. help us with the algorithm. Share it with your friends, family, coworkers, or your enemies. Yes, Harbin.
I have a hater and loser.
Oh, yes, go ahead.
It's me.
Really?
Yeah, hand up. It's me.
Okay.
I believe on the last show you were bullying me about the Jalen Brown trade rumors, and I said that Jalen Brown would not get traded.
And he did.
Literally like a day later.
I think it was less than 24 hours later.
Yeah, like literally, I think it was the day that the episode came out.
Yes.
He got traded, and I was playing in the night scramble at Sevierville, and I had a group message popping off, and I was like, "What the hell are they talking about?" I had a bunch of ESPN notifications, and I was like, "Oh no, here we go." Well, it said Jalen Brown, and I was like, "Oh God, we did it." And then I kept scrolling, and it said Philadelphia.
Salt to the wound.
I was on suicide watch. I'm just being honest. I was like, you try to get a guy like that to probably your biggest rival. And if you know me, I hate the city of Philadelphia. I hate everything they stand for. I hate their fans. I hate their sports teams. I hate everything about Philadelphia. And you send one of my favorite players of my lifetime, truly, there. Yeah, it was a sad day, and you get two firsts and Paul George. And I've calmed down a little bit. I trust Brad Stevens because he has guided us correctly so many times. But by God, this better pay off. It better pay off, because if it doesn't, his head will roll.
We'll see what their plan is.
Oh, and second hater and loser is also me for planning my Saturday evening around these UFC fights this past weekend.
Yeah, that was rough. I was telling Grub, I've never really been into UFC until probably the last year or so. I've really gotten into it. So I was, there's a lot of hype around this event, and sitting here watching it all night, just pumped up. And then Conor McGregor, I don't know what they said he did to his leg, his knee, whatever, but
ACL.
it was not good. And I didn't know what he was doing at first. I thought he was like joking around. I was like, why is he laying down on the mat?
I thought he was just like Bambi. Like he hadn't been out there in forever. Like he fell the first time, I was like, okay, whatever. And then he got up and he tried to do something else. He fell again. I was like, my God, like get up, dude. Like,
Well, then Holloway even like looked at the referee and was like, had his hands up, like, what the heck is going on?
and then he got up and he wouldn't put any pressure on it. And I was like, God, he blew it out. And he did. And the fight before, Patty Pimblett, shout out Patty the Batty, by the way.
That was awesome.
That was awesome, but it also only lasted a minute, and I had super high hopes for that fight. I thought it was going to be like a 3, 4, 5 round battle, and it was cool, and it was great. Don't get me wrong, but the two main fights of the night lasted a combined like 2 minutes and 20 seconds.
The highlight of the night was Sophie Cunningham
Oh yeah, yeah.
as the ring girl.
She was the lover and winner of the evening,
Yes.
1000%.
Yes.
Yeah,
Everybody loves
she
Sophie.
popped up, and I was like,
Yeah.
it
It's like,
was Leonardo
yeah.
DiCaprio.
It's like, hey.
Yep.
I text Grub and I was like, it's Sophie. Is that her? It has to be her.
Yeah, and then
Jerry.
I don't know if you saw it, but the day after they were playing in Vegas, naturally, she came off the bench, hit 6 threes, and scored like 22 points.
She
So
went 6 of 7 from 3-point range in the second half. It was hot.
shout out Sophie Cunningham,
Yeah.
friend of the show.
Whether she knows it or not, she is a friend of the show.
Suffolk Cunningham, if you're listening, you are more than welcome to be a guest on the show anytime you
Yeah.
would like.
We'll have you anytime that you want to come on.
Yes, correct.
Just DM me or Harbin, one of us,
DM me.
or somebody we know. Don't get the
DM
word
me.
to us.
DM me. We'll figure it
DM
out.
Harb. DM
Yeah.
Harb.
My DMs are open.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't have a hater and loser, Harb. I dropped the ball. I was too busy worrying about ranking the top wins of the first Adidas era to think about a hater and loser. But we'll have one next week or next time we record. So again, appreciate everybody listening. If you're listening on the audio version, or if you're listening on the audio version, you can check us out on YouTube. If you're on the YouTube and you don't have access to YouTube to watch this or want to go back and listen to it when you're driving or whatever, we're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Just just Google search us and you'll find it. Hashtag JWTDG podcast. Um, might have a potential sponsor, Harb. I'll have some more details. I'm working on that. Hopefully, the potential sponsor's listening. I have not forgot about you. I am going to text you back. But might have something in the works. We'll see. But that's all I got. We'll be back again next time, whenever that may be. Hopefully, do a schedule preview here soon. Go game by game, pick whether we're going to win or lose those said games, and get some more preseason content out there before the season starts. Harb said it's 53 or 50 something days away, so it's right around the corner. Hopefully, we'll have news soon on where we're tailgating at this year. Still nothing from UT. That should come 1st of August. Hope and pray we're in G10 again. So we'll keep you guys apprised of all that. But for Harb, I'm Negative Nease. You've been listening to the hashtag JWTDG podcast.